What happens when a company forgets its last employee in an empty building? In 1995, I worked for a company I truly liked, the Radio Corporation of America. It was a large American company with factories in Mexico, Ireland, and Southeast Asia. I worked at the original location, a huge 50-acre complex that included the main headquarters, circuit board production, plastic molding, and other operations. Around 6,000 people worked on the factory floor, and another 2,000 worked desk jobs there. I was an engineer, and I enjoyed my work. All office employees shared one massive open building. It felt like a stadium, with a ceiling nearly 100 feet high. The space covered about 7 acres. Even though it was so big, it stayed quiet because sound didn't travel far. Lights hung down from long wires like streetlights, giving it the feel of a convention center. The building had hallways along the sides. One side had displays showing the company's history and offices for top executives. Another side connected to the factory floor, with a hallway that helped block noise. At the back, there was a cafeteria, seating areas, and restrooms. There were also conference rooms for meetings. The rest of the space was filled with cubicles. In the early 1990s, a French company called Thomson Consumer Electronics bought the business. Their first big decision was to move factory work to Mexico. This process took years. Their second move was to build a new headquarters building. It was designed by a French architect and looked very modern at the time. Many of the original executives were replaced by new ones from France. When the new building was ready, they started moving employees. Every Monday, they posted a list showing which departments would move that week. At first, I didn't pay much attention. There were thousands of people to relocate. Slowly, one department after another moved. Accounting, purchasing, logistics. Large sections of the building became empty. I worked in a very small department, just me and my boss. She traveled most of the time, so I rarely saw her. Before the moves began, I was given a new project. It involved working alone on CAD drawings and writing technical documents. It was detailed work, similar to writing a manual for a complex machine. It required skill, but it was also repetitive. As months passed, the engineering team started moving too, but my name never appeared on any of the lists. My boss tried to find out when we would move, but no one could give a clear answer. There were language issues, different contractors, and a lot of confusion. Eventually, she was given an office in France since it was closer to the places she traveled to. As more people left, they started turning off lights in empty areas to save money. Then the main entrance was closed and the security guards were let go. I had to enter through the factory floor instead. I missed walking past the company displays every day. After that, the cafeteria closed and even getting coffee meant a long walk across the complex. Late in 1994, my boss and I met for lunch. She believed they might be planning to remove our department but hadn't done it yet. It felt like no one really knew what to do with us, or maybe they had simply forgotten. By Christmas that year, I was the only person left in a space that once held thousands. The only light still on was the one above my desk. Small safety lights lined the pathways so I could find my way out, but everything else was dark. The building was so large that I couldn't even see the walls or ceiling anymore. Sometimes I shouted just to hear something, but there was no echo, and this continued for 6 more months. During that time, I became very worried about losing my job. I followed every rule carefully. I arrived on time, left on time, and stayed focused on my work. I didn't break any rules. Part of me still hoped it was all just a mistake, and that one day my name would finally appear on a moving list. Those months were very difficult. I felt alone and stressed. I lived only a few minutes away, but even the value of my home dropped as the area became quiet. Finally, after more than a year, they prepared to shut down the old headquarters completely. Before turning off the power and air systems, inspectors came to check the building one last time. That's when they found me, still sitting at my desk, working under a single light. My presence surprised everyone. They had to figure out who I was, why I was still there, and what to do next. By then, my boss had already been let go. I wasn't even sure if the work I had been doing would ever be used. In the end, they offered me a severance package. I had simply done my job every day, exactly as expected, while being completely forgotten in a building that had once been full of life.